Hey, it's Dorleen, and I'm doing another updo, or actually a redo of an updo. You can go to my blog, which is listed above, and I'll also have it listed below to get a list of the products that I actually used. So the canvas that I'm redoing is one that I did an updo a couple of years ago. We did a Mrs. Claus laundry room kind of display thing at work, and I bought this canvas at the Dollar Tree. It is about 4 by 12 inches, and it was a lot of fun, but I knew I was never going to use it again, so I decided to do another or redo of the updo. So what you see me doing is I'm just adding with Mod Podge and some scrap papers and just covering the whole canvas. And the reason why I'm doing that is to create another layer over this already painted surface, and it's also going to add some texture to the final project. So what I decided to do is I'm going to make this a beach or ocean looking canvas because I'm going to put it in our guest room, which has a Hawaiian theme. So again, you're just going to see me use some Mod Podge and some scrap pieces of scrapbooking paper. That was a mouthful. If you don't have scrapbooking paper or even scraps of scrapbooking paper like I do, you can use any kind of paper: newspaper, wrapping paper, napkins, junk mail, the packaging that comes in your packages, anything like that, just to provide another layer. And you'll do all 4 sides as well as the top. Now, I wasn't too concerned of what was being placed where, because I know I'm going to put a layer of white gesso, which is basically like paint, over the top. But I did want pattern papers, because when you're doing all these layers, even though you're covering it with paint, you can still see some of those patterns come up. So it does give another interest. So as you saw, I snapped my fingers and all 4 edges were done. So now what I did is I used that old credit card or that sample credit card and just scraped a layer of white gesso over it. You can use white acrylic paint or whatever type of paint that you have. And once I do that, I am grabbing some ink sprays that I have that are both in green and blues and also a gold, and I'm just spritzing here and there. Now, if you don't have ink spray, you can use any kind of coloring medium. I mean, you can use markers, you can use watercolor, you can use acrylic paint, whatever you're going to do. In this case, I'm doing an ocean theme, so that's why I'm using the blues and greens. And that in my hand is just like a bundled up old wipe, so it's already dried, but I'm just using it kind of like a sponge in a sense and just spreading the color, but very lightly. I barely used it. Went over it. I didn't like spread it. I just more like helped it spread, I guess. I don't know what the right word is, but I'm just spraying it and making sure that I cover the sides as well. So whenever you're working on a canvas, you should do all 4 sides as well, because when it's hanging on your wall or if you're having it on a shelf or whatever, if you don't complete the sides, it's not going to look complete. So in some cases I sprayed, some I took the actual tube out and splattered here and there. But once I get to a spot that I like, you're going to see me add some white. That is a handmade solution of just water and some white acrylic paint. And so I splatter that here and there as well. And I did not clean my nozzle the last time I used it, and didn't have the patience to clean it now. But that's why I'm dripping the paint instead of spraying. But I do like the effect, and that's perfect. I like the dotted paint versus big splashes. And then that canvas to the left is one that I use as my paint palette, and that's a script stamp that I use. I feel like I use for everything. And I didn't want to use some ink, so I just used some acrylic paint on that. Use my finger to rub it over the stamped images. And don't worry, I do clean that up very well because I don't want paint stuck there, because I use that stamp a lot. So instead of wasting that acrylic paint, I'm just taking my finger and rubbing it around on the 4 corners and also like in some of the sides. I do like the way that looked. I think it looks so pretty, and that dark kind of bright blue really stands out, and it's just enough to stand out. It's not overbearing anything. So I'm going to let that dry as much as I can. And you're going to see me pull out some sand dollars, which I received from a coworker of mine. She gave me a box of them. Didn't know what to do with them, and neither did I at the time, but I knew I'd use them for something. So I took those sand dollars and I did soak them in water overnight to clean them. And now what I'm doing is just putting a kind of a wash of I probably could have just used the Mod Podge, but it's just some Elmer's glue and water, 50-50 on the 50 glue, 50 water, and basically doing that to strengthen the shells. And that was something I saw on Pinterest. So is it necessary? I don't know, but I figured I did want to strengthen those a little bit because shells can be a little fragile. So I want my canvas to be completely dry before I even attempt to attach those sand dollars. What I did do, and I don't believe I show it, is I spritzed the sand dollars also with some glitter mist. Just it's pearl, and you can see it when you get the close-ups, but it looks so pretty. But I hope you like this so far. If you're enjoying this video, please give me a thumbs up and please hit the subscribe button. I do try to do videos at least once a week. And if you want to, you can also check the notification or the bell for the notifications, and that way you'll be notified every time I do post a video. So I really do like the way that's look. I'm fiddling with how I want the shells. I like it. I hope you do too. Thumbs up if you do. And what I'm doing now is I'm doing a combination. Oh, there I'm spritzing the glimmer mist right now, and then I will use my heat gun to dry those. So I want to attach those shells to that canvas. So the first thing I thought was just using my glue gun, but I also know that sometimes when it's something sitting in this direct sun or the temperature gets a little extreme, glue guns can actually melt. So I thought it would be worthwhile to do kind of 2 layers. So tacky glue, which I love and seems to be like, next to glue gun, the best thing you can do probably. So I did a layer of the tacky glue and then the glue gun or the hot glue in the middle of it. So hopefully the combination of both of those will really let them stay. But I do that for all 4 of them. That glue gun over there on the left was a gift from my daughter-in-law and my son. I love that thing, the cordless glue gun. If you're thinking about purchasing a glue gun, definitely get a cordless one because you don't always work in an area where there's an outlet. And even though in this case I am, in most cases I'm not. So it's very portable. It's easy. So I love it. That was one of my favorite gifts. So once those are all attached, I made sure, like on the inside of the canvas, I press them down a little bit to make sure they're secure. So again, here's some close-ups. I hope you like it. If you do, please give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment below if you have any questions. I will have my blog address and also my Instagram address down below. And please go to my blog and you can see the exact name of the inks that I used or any of the products that I used. Thanks so much for subscribing, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.